Yet another government shutdown is looming. Trump criticizes the UN to their face, and YouTube comes clean. And more on this week's America Uncovered headlines. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. First, I just want to say thank you all for leaving an American flag emoji in the comments. It's been a huge help with engagement and YouTube's algorithm, especially since these past few weeks I've covered multiple stories the algorithm has tried to suppress. Speaking of, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Kirk's alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, reportedly wrote in a text message to his partner that he murdered Kirk because some hate can't be negotiated out. But if Robinson's aim was to stop people from agreeing with Kirk's message, it was a major historical backfire. 200,000 people reportedly showed up in person for Kirk's memorial, with many turned away as first the arena and then the spillover arena nearby both hit capacity, and it was viewed by over 20 million people. Meanwhile, Kirk's killing is mobilizing young conservatives, with Kirk's Turning Point USA announcing it received 37,000 new chapter requests in the 48 hours following Kirk's death. For perspective, coming into the 2025-2026 school year, they report having around 900 college chapters and around 1,200 high school chapters. So 37,000 new chapter requests in 2 days, that's nothing to sneeze at. And this is obviously a great sign for Republicans heading into the midterms, but they better not get cocky. Midterms are still a year away, and if Republicans are great at anything, it's snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. It's been a pretty stressful last couple of weeks, so let's talk about something soothingly familiar. Another looming government shutdown. We're so back, baby. The government is scheduled to shut down on September 30th if no new funding bill is passed. The House has passed a stopgap bill that would avoid the shutdown and fund the government until November 21st, at which point this whole song and dance will happen again, then again, then again, until we're all as old and gray as Congress. However, the funding is having issues passing in the Senate. Well, am I not surprised? Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, whose official portrait makes him look like he and his wife are approaching you at a bar to say they like your vibe, has laid out what he deems necessary to pass the funding bill.
And I hope and pray that Trump will sit down with us and negotiate a bipartisan bill. That's how it's always been done in the past. That's how shutdowns have been avoided in the past.
And if he doesn't, I'm just confirming here, you will vote no. Is that correct?
We are hoping that he will negotiate with us.
Upon hearing this, Trump realized that negotiation and compromise are the key to a healthy democracy. So he put aside partisan, I'm just kidding. Trump canceled his meeting with top Senate Democrats, saying their demands were unserious and ridiculous, just like Ashlee Simpson's music career. Boy, my cutting-edge pop culture references. So Trump is playing hardball. While a shutdown would cause a lot of issues, he likely isn't terribly worried since we've been in this situation over and over and over again, where it looks like a shutdown is inevitable, and then a bill gets passed at the last minute. And anyway, if a shutdown did occur, it would be the third to happen while Trump was president. 2 more and he gets a free ice cream, which has to sting for Joe Biden. Speaking of Trump, the UN General Assembly kicked off this week in New York City, and it started on an odd note when the escalator stopped working the moment Trump stepped on it. Not to be conspiratorial, but maybe someone wanted to stop him, because they know an escalator was the beginning and source of his power. As if that wasn't strange enough, Trump's teleprompter also immediately stopped working.
And I don't mind making the speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working.
A broken escalator and teleprompter. It's like they hired a lazy Kevin McAllister to booby-trap the joint. Even though everyone knows Kevin McAllister owes Trump for helping him when he was lost in New York. In his speech, Trump blamed the UN for the failures, while the UN says Trump's team was to blame. World politics in 2025, folks. But that's not all Trump had to say about the UN. He went off on the organization, saying the world body was not even coming close to living up to its potential. He also got more specific with his insults.
I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law.
I'm sure no one in London would agree with Trump's statement, mainly because if they did, they'd be arrested. Trump also mocked NATO countries like Hungary, Slovakia, France, Belgium, and Spain for funding a war against themselves.
But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products.
Yep, definitely a Russian puppet. Trump also criticized many UN nations for recognizing Palestinian statehood.
Some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward.
Yeah, that teleprompter guy is probably in trouble, because the last thing you want is Trump doing improv. That usually devolves into, yes, and you suck. But perhaps the country taking the most flack is Iran, because the Trump administration is blocking Iranian diplomats in town for the UN Assembly from shopping at Costco or buying luxury goods while in the US. According to a State Department spokesperson, this is because we will not allow the Iranian regime to allow its clerical elites to have a shopping spree in New York while the Iranian people endure poverty, crumbling infrastructure, and dire shortages of water and electricity. Although this could have been great marketing for Costco. We're Costco guys. Of course we have to try the all-beef hot dogs. And it's jokes like that that should have made me the clear replacement for Jimmy Kimmel on late night. Unfortunately, he's back. More after the break. Welcome back. Jimmy Kimmel is back from his 6-day suspension. This is after 400 celebrities signed an open letter from the ACLU calling his removal from the air a threat to freedom of speech. Man, this looks like the most star-studded war memorial of all time. Disney lost $4 billion in market value amid calls to boycott and cancel Disney+. Oh, and a Sacramento ABC TV station was struck by gunfire. Where was this level of passion when The Man Show was canceled? So Kimmel's back, but not entirely, because 1/3 of ABC stations say they won't air Jimmy Kimmel Live, including broadcasters Nexstar and Sinclair, which started the boycott. This means that people in markets where their ABC affiliate is broadcasted by these companies, who want to watch Jimmy Kimmel's show, will have to do what they've likely been doing for decades before this debacle. Watch it online. The horror. Meanwhile, some conservatives are talking about their own boycott against Disney. Man, I miss the good old days when politics didn't creep into every aspect of our lives. I also miss the days when entertainment didn't creep into politics. The Department of Homeland Security's official X account posted this video set to the Pokemon cartoon theme song, which I can't play because YouTube will ding me for copyright, even though it's fair use. Homeland Security said when it comes to illegal immigrants, they gotta catch them all. What's next? Barron dressing like an Egyptian pharaoh and mumbling something about the heart of the cards as illegal immigrants battle for our amusement? Seriously, I could have been a great late-night talk show host. But not everyone is so amused with Trump's immigration policies. A sniper opened fire at a Dallas ICE facility, killing one detainee and critically wounding 2 before turning the gun on himself. The shooter was identified as Joshua Yan from Texas. As far as motive is concerned, according to FBI Director Kash Patel, a note was found that read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof?" And one of the unspent shell casings was engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. So he was against ICE, but wound up killing and wounding detained illegal immigrants and then killed himself. To carry on the Pokemon reference, he hurt himself in the confusion. And it certainly wasn't very effective. The U.S. Justice Department removed a study from its website that found far-right extremists commit far more violence. Given that Trump has been saying the left is more violent and recently redesignated Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, it seems like the DOJ is trying to remove evidence that would contradict these claims. However, it's not that simple. Some are claiming the study and others like it that show most political violence is right-wing is transparently bogus. This is because violence committed by white supremacists and neo-Nazis is often designated as right-wing, even though the Nazis were on the left, they're socialists. And the motives behind these crimes are mostly racial and not explicitly political. So the American right doesn't think it's fair. Of course, the American left could make a similar case and say a lot of the violence blamed on their side is actually mental illness and not political or far-left communists. Or as Chris Rock would put it, whatever happened to just crazy? The point is, it seems like people tend to only trust data when it supports something they already believe in. But hey, here's something I believed and covered over and over again. The Biden administration pressuring companies to censor people during COVID. And you know what? I was right. Mark Zuckerberg came out and said it last year. And now Google has admitted to Congress that the former administration pressed YouTube to censor COVID misinformation. You know, misinformation like those lies about how social distancing wasn't backed by science. And the virus definitely 100% didn't come from the Wuhan lab. Google also said they would bring back accounts that were banned at the Biden administration's insistence, and said it was unacceptable and wrong when any government pressures companies to moderate content. And now, here's a live reaction of all the people on the left who called Jimmy Kimmel's suspension fascism of the highest order, commenting on this story. What do you think? Leave your comments below with that American flag emoji. And before you go, again, check out this video chosen by the algorithm and pretend it was actually your choice to do it, and that the algorithm isn't already controlling your brain like a squishy meat puppet. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thank you for watching America Uncovered.